Hello. I've got another product review to go over with you. If you've been on the channel for a little bit recently, I'm updating a lot of things in the garage, and one of the things that I needed to update was the ability to control the climate, not just the hot and cold, but I also needed to make sure that the air was clean with my air purifier. My air conditioning unit is going to keep the room nice and cold. I've got a little space heater that I'm using to keep the room warm if I need it, but I also need to control the humidity. And without a dehumidifier in this room, the humidity would be just as much as it is outside. And so if it's 70% humidity outside, it'll try to creep towards 70% in the room. And so my dehumidifier that I chose specifically after all the research that I did was for the room, for the convenience, for the cost. So keep that in mind. I've actually already purchased one and put it in the house because the one that I bought for the garage was just such a nice unit and it was at a low cost that I was able to just grab another one and put it in the house because we do not have humidity control in the house and we need to get the humidity down. Now it does run in the house and keeps the humidity down in the house. That's a good thing. You don't want the humidity really high in your house. Before I get any further into the video today, I just want to ask you to subscribe to this channel. Please take the time to just hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell if you want updates when I'm making a new video, posting a new video, or going live. And please always, as always, you can comment anytime you want in the comment section. I appreciate the comments. Sometimes some videos have a lot of comments, sometimes I don't see any comments at all. Hopefully the videos are descriptive enough that you can make a decision to purchase this item just based on the information that I give and some credibility in the fact that I do take a lot of time to research and I'm always trying to find the best product for the best price. So today I'm going to go over a brand called Waykar, W-A-Y-K-A-R. Waykar offers a bunch of different sizes in dehumidifiers, and the dehumidifier that I picked was specifically for this room. All the information that you need for the dehumidifier will be in the video. It'll also be in the description, the price and where I got it from. So please just look in the description if you need the link, it'll be in there. So let me just take you for a walk over to the dehumidifier. I'll just go over the features and give you a view of the look of it, just so you can see what it looks like and what the features are on it and why I purchased it. So this is the Waykar dehumidifier that I purchased. As I mentioned, it's super easy to use. The top here is just a little, it's just where the air gets blown out. So this comes from the factory closed and you just push on the back, and when you push it, you can just alter the direction of the air. So I just usually have the air pointing up. Now what you can do on this is you can change the speed. That's the speed at which the fan blows. So it's going to suck the air in quicker and dehumidify the room quicker. You can also put it on a timer, so if you don't want this thing just running all the time and you just want to cut the humidity down while you're in the room or for a certain period of time, you can just put it on the timer. The settings in here is what changes that percentage for what the relative humidity that it's trying to control down to. Obviously power turns it on and off, and then there's a little light here that turns red when it's full. Now on the front here there is a window, and you can actually see in the window. It's hard to get the light's probably not going to focus for me in this spot there. It's a little better, but the way this works is as this fills up you can actually see where the water is on the window. It doesn't fill all the way to the very top, it stops about here, and when it does, the screen in the middle here is going to say E7. That's whatever the error code is that they decided for this unit, and that light is going to turn red, and it actually beeps when it first gets filled. All you have to do to open this up is just push on the sides. There's these little grooves on either side. There's a groove here. That groove on either side can be used to pull this cover out, and when you pull the cover out, there's where the water is in the bottom. Now there's no water in here because I actually just recently dumped the water out. I don't really pay too much attention to how much this gets filled up in the garage because I'm not always in here. Now this does have wheels, so you can roll it around on the floor. It also has a handle so that you can pick it up and move it wherever you need to, and there's actually a cleanable filter on the back. Nice and clean because I don't have a whole lot of dirt and debris floating around the room. So when I go into the settings, as I mentioned before, I can change the humidity percentage that I want in the room. Now I've got it set to 55, so it's on, that's when I push it, that's on the number that I have it now, and it'll just go up. So if I only want the relative humidity to go down to 70%, anything over 70, it's going to try to pull it down. Right now, it's actually saying that the relative humidity in the room is 54. So this will just keep going back up, and then eventually it'll roll over. Now it can go all the way down to 30, which would be really, really dry, and this thing would be running a lot, and it would be, obviously, if I'm at 53 and it's trying to get to 30, it's got a long way to go, and this thing is going to be running a lot. So I set it to about a comfortable percentage, which is usually right at 55, and I just leave it at that. Now when this thing turns on, as you heard the noise, now you can feel the air is actually blowing out the top. The fan on the inside is running, so now it's going to cut off, but the fan is running, and that just means that it's picking up the humidity sensor. Now I've noticed a couple times, if I use a digital like a Accurite digital, not a thermometer, it's got humidity on it. It's a humidity sensor, but I've got an Accurite humidity sensor that I should have in another review video if you need it. But I can put it right next to this, and the relative humidity that this says versus the relative humidity that's on my Accurite can be up to 5 degrees. It's not 5 degrees, but 5% off, because that's a percentage. Relative humidity is a percentage, the relative humidity in the room. So it does get off. I did contact Waykar when I first saw that it would get up to 5% off. So that would mean that even though this was set at 55, there were times where the humidity in the room was actually 60 and this thing hadn't turned on yet, because if I have it at 55 and it's on 55, it wouldn't switch on right away. If you have plants or animals in the house and you've got water bowls for the animals around the dehumidifier, that relative humidity is going to be off. So make sure that you don't put this around something that's wet, or that relative humidity is going to get picked up on that wet item, the water that's in the air from that item, and it will throw this off, and it'll think it needs to constantly run to keep that humidity down. So those are things to keep in mind, but this is a very simple setup. There's not really a whole lot to talk about. It's pretty small, as you can see. You know, it's about 10 inches wide or so, and maybe 2 feet tall, about 10 inches deep. So it's a pretty small unit, doesn't take up any space. So the nice thing about this one is there's actually the ability to run on the inside of this. You can actually plug the hole where the water drips out into this container, and you can actually take this plug out. See, I've got the plug in the back, but there's actually a hose that comes with this, and you can actually put a hose on the back of this, and you could run that hose to a drain in the floor so that it would always be pulling humidity out and just dumping it down into a drain. So I have a mind that I'm probably going to get something like this, maybe even eventually take one out, maybe take the one out of the house and put the one that's in the house in our crawl space and just let it run. And I'm going to run that drain hose off the back and plug the one that's on the inside of this container so it's not draining the water into here. It'll drain the water down that pipe out the back, and I can put that into our French drain under the crawl space and just let the water run out, and that'll just suck more humidity out from our crawl space that's under the house, so it doesn't have an effect on the house itself. Don't have anything else to go over for my dehumidifier. Hopefully that was informative enough review so that you can get all the information that you need to make a good decision on your next purchase. Waykar dehumidifier on Amazon. It's not expensive. For the value, for the price, for the quality, I'd say it's a pretty good purchase. And as I mentioned, I was able to call customer service at Waykar and talk to them directly, and I was not on a wait. I didn't have to get called back. I heard back from them immediately, and we got to talk, and I got to ask them about the humidity sensor. So it seems like the customer service is pretty good too. So that's another feature. That's another nice thing about working with the company, if you get if you have good customer service. So I'm getting a little bit tired. It's been a long day, so I'm going to wrap this up, and I will see you on the next review. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for taking the time to watch. Like the video, share the channel. I appreciate it.